Worldwide research shows a well-documented link from the child welfare system to the criminal justice system. In the UK, 52% of those who had been in foster care have a criminal conviction by age 24. In the US, 90% of youth who've had 5 or more placements in the child welfare system will end up in the prison system. Manitoba research shows that First Nations youth have 24 times more the odds of being involved in both of these systems compared to non-Indigenous youth. While we hear of this so-called foster care to prison pipeline, we rarely hear from anybody who's experienced it firsthand, like Roland Chartrand. Global news plays a vital role in reconciliation, acting as a platform for diverse voices and a catalyst for understanding through storytelling. As part of this responsibility, we sat down with Chartrand at the Milner Ridge Correctional Center near Winnipeg to better understand the people behind the data. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard it throughout life that, you know, CFS is a pipeline from one institution to another. Do you kind of feel like you're that statistic a bit?
Yeah. I came in when I was 3 years old. Today, she blames the systems. That's what she says, and you know, the systems failed me. You know, and I just asked her. I said, you know, Ma, that's to me. I just took that as kind of a cop out. Like, you know, like yeah, the systems, but you know, you should have. I don't know, addictions. The reality of alcoholism, and you know, pills and whatever she got into growing up. You know, she just chose that. The sad part is like my dad's side of the family that took me, my sisters, and I don't know if I did. Like we went through sexual and physical traumas at the hands of people on my dad's side of the family. So the way I believe it, the way it happened was that because of the sexual and physical traumas that we endured, they took us from our dad's side of the family and they moved us.
How many foster homes did you ever keep track of how many you went through?
Yeah, no, 50 plus homes all over. Like they got all over Manitoba. I was troubled kid, you know. So I ended up getting ruined in the foster homes wherever I went, and I just continued to be, you know, fighting with the foster families, you know, and doing those things to get me. Yeah, taken out of the homes. You know, it's so crazy because they didn't even give me anything like, you know, to like not give me anything, but like give me something to be able to like no identification. I never had nothing. There was no, you know what I mean? Like they didn't give me any kind of tools or anything that I could have used. I'm 18 years old, I didn't know what to do, so you know what I mean? I just bought some weed and sold weed, you know, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, you know what I mean? I didn't know what to do. I was just like, fuck. You know, and I drank. I was just you know, same thing that my mom was. I was just an alcoholic all my life. Nobody had nothing to do with it. It was one person, and basically the system built the way it is. If we didn't rat on somebody or we didn't, you know, they basically say that we killed somebody.
How long were you in jail for that?
8 years. 8 years.
What's the longest you've ever been out of jail?
Probably, you know what, I couldn't just say off the top of my head. I didn't know what to do. I didn't take it well. I just, you know what I mean? Rather than turn around and just lash out and be hurtful or aggressive or hurt anybody, I went back to my sisters. You know, I just cried.
After these charges are done and you've served your time for those, do you see a different path? Do you see a way out for yourself?
You know, I really don't know.
You know, what can we do in the future? He doesn't even have anyone to talk to. Like, how he's just sitting by himself with all his shame and all his guilt and all these horrific things that have been perpetrated on him by the systems and that he has learned to perpetrate on others. Who's teaching him any other thing? As an officer, when I was in there, I saw how there was nothing waiting for anyone out here. Like, and that always really bothered me, to the fact that children are worth money in care. Prisoners are worth money in custody. There's whole industries. Though I did work in the child and family in my 20s, and some of the babies that I took care of as a young woman were eventually in custody, as were their fathers, their mothers, their aunties. Sometimes people wouldn't even meet their family members until they came to jail. People need to sit with each other and have conversations that are hope-filled and future-focused. And like, you get out and you get thrown back into the same shitty community with all the same problems that have usually which do stem from colonization and assimilation and displacement. And you're thrown back into the same environment that was destroying you. And when we talk about truth and reconciliation, there can be no reconciliation or relationship building when we're not telling the truth about what is happening in these correctional facilities, these jails and these penitentiaries. For me, I feel like someone would have to have come back out of that system and said, actually, what we're doing in these residential schools is horrible and it's not helping anyone. And that would have been like shocking, right? I feel like sometimes my story is like, do you guys really know what's happening in prison? It's not good. Like, the reason we have so much crime out here is you go to jail and you lose all hope. You don't care about, you don't have any hope for your future or your family.